You will get a jolt of revelation when you find out someone is head over heels obsessed with you because of one specific thing you did. Something so natural to your spirit, you didn't realize it had the power to captivate them so completely. If you've been sensing an unusual warmth from someone or noticing them pop up in your thoughts at odd times, it's likely not a fluke. Something about how you've carried yourself, how you've spoken, or even a simple act of kindness triggered a deep emotional response in them. And if part of you wonders, could it really be that strong? Brace yourself because it often is. Do something brief but potent right now. Tap that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and leave 77 in the comments to broadcast your readiness to the universe. Then add another comment, ready for what's next, because even a tiny statement of intent can spark off changes beyond your wildest guesses. We're about to explore 7 chapters unveiling how your unique energy flips someone's world upside down, why they might be borderline crazy in love, and how you can handle this unexpected intensity without losing yourself or them. Sure, your daily routines might not look out of the ordinary, heading to work, juggling chores, caring for family, but behind that mundane facade, an energetic shift has occurred. You did something so genuine, maybe a compassionate gesture, a few words of affirmation, or a moment where you authentically displayed your strength, that it struck this person at their core. They've likely tried to rationalize it, but your authenticity lit a spark they cannot ignore. Let's dig into what it really means to awaken such fierce emotions in another, how to keep your center while acknowledging their devotion, and how to steer this connection toward a healthy, inspired outcome. Empathy is a subtle force, one that can shape the course of relationships without us even realizing it. When you show empathy in everyday moments, you are not just demonstrating understanding, you are silently communicating that the other person matters deeply to you. It's the ability to step into someone else's shoes and feel what they feel, to share in their joys and sorrows, even when you don't have all the answers. This act of emotional attunement can draw people closer to you in ways you might not expect. Think about the times when you felt truly understood by someone. Perhaps it was in the way they listened to your troubles without judgment, or how they seemed to instinctively know when you needed a pick-me-up. These moments, while simple, create a deep emotional bond. It's the shared human experience that brings two people together, allowing them to connect on a level beyond words. Empathy fosters a sense of belonging, a feeling that says, you are not alone, and that connection becomes the foundation of a lasting relationship. However, what many don't realize is that empathy is a magnetic force. When you empathize with someone, you're not just showing them compassion, you're opening the door for a deeper emotional connection. It's as if the person begins to feel safe in your presence, knowing that they can show their vulnerable side without fear of rejection. In a world where people often feel invisible, these small acts of empathy become powerful tools in forging strong, meaningful relationships. Emotions are complex and often unpredictable, but what's fascinating is how simple actions can cause profound shifts in someone's emotional state. A kind word, a simple gesture, or a thoughtful action can change the trajectory of a person's day or even their entire outlook on life. You might not realize it at the time, but those seemingly insignificant acts are often what trigger an emotional transformation. What you do or say can spark feelings of joy, warmth, or even a sudden rush of affection. It's important to be aware of the emotional shifts that your actions can cause. Sometimes, without realizing it, we make someone feel incredibly valued or deeply hurt. This is why small gestures matter so much. They are the silent influences that govern the ebb and flow of our emotions. Whether it's the way you show up for someone in their time of need or the way you make them laugh when they feel down, these shifts are an integral part of human connection. They have the potential to open a person's heart to you, creating an emotional space that feels both safe and cherished. What makes this emotional shift so captivating is that it often goes unnoticed. The person may not realize how deeply their emotions have been stirred by such a simple act, but they'll feel it nonetheless. It's as if your actions have bypassed the surface and spoken directly to their heart, and that's when the emotional bond starts to form, quietly, powerfully, and deeply. And there's something magnetic about authenticity. When you present yourself to the world without pretense, People notice. They feel the raw truth of your being, and it draws them in. It's as though in a world filled with masks and facades, your authenticity becomes a breath of fresh air. You become an anomaly, someone they can't help but be drawn to. But as powerful as authenticity can be in forming connections, it can also spark something unexpected: obsession. When someone becomes emotionally invested in your authentic self, they may start to view you through a lens of idealization. Your genuine nature can create an intense attachment, where they start to crave your presence and validation. They begin to hone in on every word you say, every movement you make. The truth that you so naturally embody becomes the foundation of their emotional world. While this can create an incredibly deep bond, it can also lead to unhealthy attachment if not handled carefully. The key is balance. Being authentic is powerful and emotionally enriching, but it's important to recognize when that authenticity begins to take on a life of its own. While it's wonderful to be appreciated for who you are, it's equally important to maintain healthy boundaries. Otherwise, the very authenticity that made someone fall for you could become the thing that leads to dependency, obsession, and emotional instability. Vulnerability often gets a bad rap. We're taught that to be strong, we must conceal our emotions and shield ourselves from potential hurt. But the truth is, vulnerability is one of the most mesmerizing qualities a person can possess. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, when you open up about your fears, your dreams, and your struggles, you are showing a level of strength that many people find irresistible. It's the delicate balance of being emotionally exposed while maintaining your inner fortitude that makes vulnerability so captivating. There's something deeply human about vulnerability. It taps into our shared experiences and reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles. When someone is brave enough to be vulnerable with you, it creates a powerful sense of intimacy. You're no longer just two individuals. You become two souls connected by the rawness of human experience. It's this emotional depth that people find so mesmerizing. Your vulnerability becomes a mirror reflecting their own emotions and, in turn, draws them closer to you. But vulnerability is also a delicate thing. While it can create intimacy and connection, it can also expose you to hurt and rejection. That's why it's important to be mindful of who you share it with and to always protect your emotional boundaries. When vulnerability is shared in the right context, however, it can become the foundation of a relationship that's both emotionally rich and incredibly fulfilling. Energy is a force that we often don't fully recognize, yet it has the power to shape our interactions and relationships in profound ways. There's an intangible energy that flows between people. Sometimes it's a calm and peaceful current, and other times it's a fiery electric charge. When this energy is aligned, deep emotional bonds are formed. It's not about words or actions, but the subtle undercurrent of connection that can make someone feel as though they've known you forever, even if you've just met. This energy is felt in the quiet moments, the times when words aren't necessary. It's in the way you look at someone, the way they respond to your touch, or the way your presence alone can make someone feel safe and understood. It's a connection that transcends verbal communication, and it's in these moments that people often feel the most emotionally tied to you. The more you allow this energy to flow, the stronger the bond becomes. However, just as this energy can create closeness, it can also shift dramatically when one person is no longer in tune with the other's energy. It can cause confusion, tension, or even emotional withdrawal. That's why it's important to nurture and protect this subtle energy, as it can become the most powerful force in your relationship. The power to stir someone's emotions is one of the most profound abilities we have. What's incredible is that you don't need to orchestrate grand gestures to do so. Often it's the simple, genuine actions that have the deepest impact. A well-placed word of encouragement, a moment of heartfelt connection, or a shared experience can trigger an emotional reaction that resonates far beyond what you might expect. It's as if the smallest spark sets off an emotional wildfire, and once ignited, that feeling can linger for days, even weeks. When you connect with someone on a deeper emotional level, your words, actions, or even presence can invoke powerful feelings. Whether it's love, admiration, or a sense of comfort, you might find that a single moment of vulnerability can trigger a cascade of emotions, and suddenly someone's heart feels completely entwined with yours. The truth is, The emotional response you trigger isn't just about the action itself. It's about the context, the timing, and the meaning behind it. It's a deeply personal experience that speaks to the heart. Sometimes the emotional response can be overwhelming. In an instant, someone can go from neutral to completely captivated by your presence, feeling drawn to you in ways they didn't expect. Understanding the power you hold in triggering these emotions is essential, as it allows you to form deep and meaningful connections while being mindful of the impact your actions have on others. Kindness is the silent thread that weaves through every meaningful relationship. It's often said that kindness costs nothing, but its value is immeasurable. It's through acts of kindness, whether it's a warm smile, a helping hand, or simply being there for someone, that emotional connections deepen and relationships flourish. Kindness builds trust, and trust is the foundation of any strong bond. When you show kindness to someone, you are signaling to them that they matter, that they are worthy of care and respect. Even in the most challenging times, kindness has the ability to break down walls and foster understanding. A simple act, like offering someone your time or listening without judgment, can create an environment where emotional connections thrive. People are drawn to those who are kind, as it speaks to the heart of what it means to be human: compassion, understanding, and shared vulnerability. Your kindness becomes a safe haven for those around you, making them feel valued, heard, and seen. What's fascinating about kindness is its ripple effect. When you show kindness to others, they in turn are more likely to pay it forward. It creates a cycle of generosity that strengthens relationships and deepens bonds. It's not just about doing nice things. It's about cultivating an energy that makes others feel good about themselves and their connection with you. Acts of service are often seen as simple gestures, but they carry a profound weight when it comes to building intimacy in relationships. When you do something for someone that requires time, energy, and thoughtfulness, whether it's making them a meal, running an errand, or helping them with something they care about, it sends a powerful message. I care about you, and I'm willing to invest in your well-being. This is one of the most intimate expressions of love and affection because it shows that you are thinking of their needs beyond your own. It's easy to overlook the importance of acts of service, yet they often reveal the depth of a connection. When you go out of your way to show someone you care, it creates a sense of emotional safety that draws people closer. You're no longer just two people passing through life. You are partners, sharing responsibility, offering each other support, and showing up in ways that matter. This shared experience of caring for one another leads to a stronger emotional bond that often transcends words. In relationships, acts of service also serve as a form of validation. By making the effort to help or support someone, you are affirming that they are valued and loved. These acts don't have to be grand. Even the smallest service can spark profound feelings of connection and intimacy. It's these simple everyday acts that reinforce the strength of your bond, building a relationship that is rooted in trust, compassion, and genuine care for each other. There are times when kindness feels almost magical, as if the universe itself has aligned to deliver a message. Have you ever experienced a moment when someone's kindness felt like it came at exactly the right time, as if it was meant for you? These moments can feel cosmic, as though the universe has conspired to offer you a sign that you are seen, heard, and cared for in ways that are beyond your comprehension. It's these acts of kindness that feel destined, as though they were part of a larger story unfolding. When someone shows you kindness during a time of struggle or uncertainty, it can feel like the universe is offering you a lifeline, a connection to something greater than yourself. This kind of kindness transcends everyday gestures and carries a sense of serendipity, like a divine moment of grace meant to touch your heart in ways that leave a lasting impact. And when this cosmic kindness is shared between two people, it can ignite a bond that feels almost fated. You begin to feel as though your paths crossed for a reason, that your connection is part of something larger and more meaningful. It creates an emotional resonance that strengthens your relationship, transforming even the smallest acts into something profoundly significant. Loyalty is one of the most treasured qualities in any relationship, but it also brings with it a unique set of challenges. When someone is deeply loyal to you, they're emotionally invested in your well-being and success. While this loyalty is often a source of strength and comfort, it can also become overwhelming. Loyalty can sometimes evolve into a sense of possessiveness, where one person's emotional attachment becomes so strong that it risks stifling the space and independence needed in a healthy relationship. When loyalty is unbalanced, it can create tension and emotional strain. A person who feels overly loyal may begin to sacrifice their own needs and desires in order to meet the expectations of the other. This can lead to feelings of resentment, as one person may feel trapped in an emotional role that's difficult to escape. It's important to recognize that while loyalty is invaluable, it needs to be tempered with respect for personal autonomy and healthy boundaries. At its best, loyalty strengthens a relationship, offering stability, trust, and mutual support. But when loyalty tips into obsession, it can create a dynamic that's difficult to manage. Striking a balance between deep loyalty and the need for individual space is crucial in maintaining a relationship that is both emotionally rich and healthy. Compassion is a cornerstone of strong relationships. It's what allows us to empathize with others and support them through difficult times. But without healthy boundaries, compassion can be overwhelming and even destructive in relationships. It's essential to balance the desire to care for someone with the need to protect your own emotional space. Compassion doesn't mean sacrificing your well-being for the sake of someone else's needs. It means offering support while still respecting your limits. Healthy boundaries ensure that both parties in a relationship are able to maintain their sense of self while fostering a supportive and nurturing connection. When boundaries are respected, compassion becomes a gift that enriches the relationship without leaving either person feeling drained or resentful. It's about knowing where your emotional energy begins and ends, and ensuring that your needs are met alongside the needs of others. Navigating this balance can be tricky, but it's crucial for maintaining the health and sustainability of any relationship. Compassion can be a transformative force, but without the structure of boundaries, it can easily tip into emotional exhaustion. By respecting both your own limits and the needs of those you care about, you create a space where both parties can thrive emotionally, without fear of losing themselves in the process. Possessiveness is often a byproduct of deep affection. When we care about someone deeply, it's natural to want to protect them and keep them close. However, possessiveness can quickly turn from a sign of love to a controlling force that suffocates the relationship. When one person becomes overly possessive, they may try to control where the other goes, who they interact with, or how they spend their time. This behavior can quickly erode the trust and respect that are fundamental to a healthy relationship. Possessiveness often stems from insecurity or fear of losing the other person. But rather than deepening the connection, it creates an atmosphere of distrust and tension. It can lead to feelings of suffocation and resentment, making the relationship feel more like a prison than a partnership. While love and affection are powerful, they must be expressed in ways that allow both people to grow and maintain their independence. The key to overcoming possessiveness is fostering mutual respect and trust. Each person must feel that they have the freedom to exist as an individual while still being deeply connected to their partner. When both people feel secure in the relationship, possessiveness gives way to a stronger, more balanced connection that is rooted in trust and understanding. The halo effect is a cognitive bias that leads us to view someone positively in all areas based on one standout characteristic. In relationships, this often happens when someone is drawn to a specific trait in their partner, such as their kindness, intelligence, or charm, and begins to idealize them, seeing them as flawless or perfect. This can create an unrealistic expectation of the relationship, where one person starts to believe their partner can do no wrong, and the other is expected to live up to this idealized image. While idealization can feel thrilling and romantic at first, it can quickly lead to disappointment and disillusionment. No one is perfect, and when the person you've placed on a pedestal inevitably falls short of your expectations, it can lead to feelings of betrayal or resentment. The key is to recognize the halo effect and understand that while someone may have incredible qualities, they are still human with flaws and imperfections. Acknowledging this helps maintain a balanced perspective on the relationship. Instead of placing someone on a pedestal, focus on seeing them for who they truly are, both the strengths and the weaknesses. This creates a more realistic and grounded connection, allowing both people to appreciate each other for their genuine selves rather than an idealized version. One of the most crucial aspects of a healthy relationship is the ability to maintain independence while still fostering intimacy. It's easy for two people to become enmeshed in one another's lives, but maintaining a sense of individual identity is essential. Healthy relationships thrive when both partners support each other's personal growth, interests, and passions while still nurturing the bond they share. Independence doesn't mean emotional distance. It means respecting each other's needs for space and individuality. By fostering a relationship where both people feel free to pursue their own goals and interests, they bring a sense of vitality and growth into the partnership. This allows the relationship to flourish and deepen in meaningful ways, creating a strong foundation of mutual respect and trust. When both partners feel secure in their individuality, they are able to offer each other more genuine love and connection. Intimacy in these relationships is not about clinging to one another, but about offering support, encouragement, and shared experiences. It's the freedom to grow together while still having the autonomy to be your unique selves. This balance is what allows a relationship to thrive emotionally, even as both individuals continue to evolve. In every relationship, there exists a silent force, something intangible yet profoundly impactful, that binds two people together. It's the energy that flows in the quiet moments, where words aren't needed to communicate how deeply two people understand each other. This force often emerges from shared experiences, mutual respect, and an unspoken understanding that needs no validation. It's a kind of magic that only exists when two souls are in perfect harmony, sensing and feeling the depth of each other's emotions without a single word being exchanged. These moments can occur when you're sitting together in silence, sharing a glance, or when someone finishes your thought without you speaking it aloud. It's in these instances that you realize the connection goes deeper than surface-level interactions. It's as if a bridge has been built between your hearts, one that transcends everything else in life. This bond, while quiet, speaks volumes about the strength of your connection. It's built on trust, emotional attunement, and the unspoken promise that no matter what, the other person will always be there. The beauty of this silent force is its ability to stand the test of time. It's not about grand gestures or constant communication. It's the deep-seated knowing that the other person is always with you in spirit, even if they are physically far away. This bond can survive the highs and lows of life, providing an unshakable foundation that carries you both through the toughest of times. It's these moments of silence that often hold the greatest power, creating a connection that lasts far longer than any words ever could. However, this silent force can also be misunderstood. In a world where constant communication is expected, it's easy for people to overlook the significance of unspoken connections. Yet those who understand this deeper bond know that the most powerful moments in relationships are often those where nothing needs to be said at all. This kind of connection is rare, and when it's found, it should be cherished and protected. Relationships, whether romantic or platonic, are held together by invisible threads, small, often unnoticed moments that continuously weave a connection between two people. These threads are made of shared laughter, quiet support, and countless acts of kindness that are often taken for granted. They're the tiny gestures that form the fabric of your relationship, creating a bond that's resilient and hard to break. These threads can't be seen, but they can be felt in the deepest parts of our hearts. Sometimes these threads are formed in the most ordinary of circumstances. A text message in the middle of a busy day, a comforting touch during a stressful time, or a shared look that says more than words ever could. These moments don't stand out as grand declarations, but they're the quiet glue that holds everything together. They are the invisible forces that help relationships endure, even when life gets complicated. As time goes on, these threads grow stronger, creating a web of connection that's difficult to unravel. They accumulate layer upon layer, building a relationship that's deep, complex, and unbreakable. What's remarkable is that often it's the smallest, most mundane moments that add the most strength to these bonds. It's the consistency of showing up, the reliability of being there, and the quiet understanding that makes these threads so powerful. However, the beauty of these invisible threads also means they can be taken for granted. When we fail to notice these small moments, we risk letting the bond weaken. It's essential to acknowledge and appreciate these everyday actions, for they are the foundation of lasting relationships. They are the unsung heroes, the silent warriors that quietly nurture the emotional connection we share with those we love. Vulnerability is often viewed as a weakness in a world that values strength and independence. However, there is a profound beauty in embracing vulnerability without fear. When we allow ourselves to be open, raw, and unguarded, we give others permission to do the same. This creates a space of deep emotional intimacy, where both people can share their fears, hopes, and desires without judgment. It's in these moments of vulnerability that true connection is formed. The magic of vulnerability lies in its ability to create an unspoken bond between two people. When one person dares to open their heart, the other often follows suit. This shared exposure creates a sense of safety, as if saying, "You're not alone in this." The vulnerability becomes a thread that pulls people closer, weaving them together in ways that can't be replicated by surface-level interactions. It's in the rawness of our emotions that we find the deepest truths about ourselves and the people we love. There's a profound strength that comes from being vulnerable. It's the strength to show up as your authentic self, flaws and all, without the need to hide behind a facade. In relationships, vulnerability invites acceptance and trust. It says, "I trust you with my heart," and when that trust is reciprocated, the emotional bond grows stronger. This kind of emotional intimacy can be a powerful catalyst for building long-lasting, meaningful relationships. However, vulnerability is not without its risks. Opening up to others can make us feel exposed, and sometimes that exposure can lead to hurt or disappointment. But the beauty of vulnerability lies in its courage. It's about being willing to show up fully, without fear, knowing that real love and connection are worth the risk. There's something magical about shared experiences. The moments that two people go through together that transform them forever. These experiences, whether they're joyful or painful, create a bond that is hard to replicate. It's in the collective moments of laughter, tears, and adventure that we find the true depth of our connection. Shared experiences are the glue that holds us together, creating a story that only the two of us know and understand. Think about the moments in your life that have defined your relationships. The late-night conversations, the shared vacations, the challenges you've overcome together. These experiences are what turn a simple connection into something profound. They create a history that strengthens the bond, turning a relationship into a partnership built on mutual understanding and shared memories. It's through these experiences that we truly learn about each other's hearts and souls. What's incredible about shared experiences is their ability to withstand the test of time. The memories you create together become touchstones in your relationship, bringing you back to the moments when you felt the most connected. Whether it's celebrating a milestone or navigating a tough situation, these experiences become the foundation upon which your relationship is built. They give you a sense of belonging, of knowing that you face life together side by side. However, shared experiences can also reveal the cracks in a relationship. Sometimes when we face challenges together, it exposes the differences and vulnerabilities we may have overlooked. But even in these moments of tension, the shared experience is invaluable. It provides opportunities for growth and understanding, allowing the relationship to evolve into something deeper and stronger. Emotional resilience is the quiet strength that allows us to endure life's hardships without losing our sense of self. It's the ability to face challenges with grace, to bounce back from setbacks, and to find hope even in the darkest of times. In relationships, emotional resilience is an essential quality, for it allows both individuals to weather the storms of life while still holding on to their love and connection. What makes emotional resilience so powerful is its subtle nature. Unlike physical strength, which is often visible, emotional resilience is something that develops over time, often through adversity. It's the strength to keep showing up even when things get tough. It's the ability to support your partner during their struggles while also caring for your own emotional well-being. In relationships, emotional resilience creates a sense of stability and trust, knowing that you can handle whatever life throws at you together. But emotional resilience is not just about enduring difficult times. It's about growing stronger through them. It's about learning how to navigate life's challenges with your partner. building a relationship that becomes more robust and more capable of handling stress as time goes on. This resilience fosters a sense of security, as both people know they can count on each other no matter what life brings. However, it's important to recognize that emotional resilience also involves vulnerability. It's not about suppressing emotions or pretending everything is fine. It's about acknowledging the difficulty of the situation while also finding ways to cope and move forward together. In doing so, emotional resilience becomes a powerful tool for creating deep, lasting emotional bonds. Empathy is the key that unlocks deeper connections between people. When we empathize with someone, we step into their world, trying to understand their feelings, thoughts, and experiences. It's this ability to emotionally connect with another person's perspective that transforms a simple relationship into something far more meaningful. Empathy allows us to communicate not just with words, but with the heart, creating a space of understanding and emotional safety. What's remarkable about empathy is its ability to break down barriers. It's easy to dismiss someone's feelings or experiences when we don't fully understand them, but empathy challenges that notion. It opens our hearts to others, allowing us to see beyond our own viewpoint and appreciate the richness of someone else's world. In relationships, this depth of understanding fosters mutual respect and a sense of unity, making us feel truly seen and heard. Empathy also strengthens emotional intimacy. It enables us to share in each other's joys and sorrows, creating a bond that goes beyond surface-level connection. When someone knows that you can truly feel what they are feeling without judgment or advice, they experience a sense of relief and trust. They feel supported, knowing that you are there for them, not just as a partner, but as a fellow human who understands the depth of their emotions. However, empathy also requires boundaries. While it's important to deeply connect with others, it's equally important to ensure that you don't lose yourself in the process. Healthy empathy means understanding another's feelings while also respecting your own emotional needs. By striking this balance, empathy becomes a transformative force, strengthening relationships and creating lasting emotional bonds. Emotional investment is a delicate dance in relationships. It's not about constantly giving, but about deeply engaging with the other person's emotional world. When you invest emotionally, you're not just participating in the relationship, you're actively contributing to its growth and evolution. This kind of investment requires vulnerability, attention, and care, as you learn to understand your partner's needs and desires in a way that goes beyond the surface level. What's fascinating about emotional investment is that it's not always visible. It's not about the grand gestures or the big declarations of love. It's about the small moments of connection that build over time. It's the thoughtfulness behind a text message when they're having a tough day, or the effort you put into supporting them through challenges. Emotional investment is the unspoken commitment to show up, to be present, and to nurture the relationship with sincerity. Emotional investment also means putting your heart on the line. It's about trusting your partner with your feelings, knowing that they will handle them with care. This mutual trust creates an unbreakable bond, one that is not easily swayed by external circumstances. When both people are emotionally invested, they are more likely to weather the storms of life together, as they have already committed to the relationship on a deep emotional level. However, emotional investment requires balance. It's easy to overextend yourself, to pour all your energy into the relationship without considering your own emotional needs. True emotional investment means ensuring that both parties are nurturing the relationship equally, creating a bond that is not one-sided but mutually enriching. There is an understated power in shared silence. It's in those moments when words aren't necessary, when two people simply enjoy each other's presence without feeling the need to fill the air with conversation. Shared silence can be more profound than any dialogue, as it conveys a deep sense of comfort and understanding between two people. It's the recognition that sometimes being together is enough. Shared silence allows for emotional closeness without the pressure of performing or saying the right things. Whether you're sitting side by side, reading a book together, or just staring out at the sky, the silence itself speaks volumes. It says, "I'm here with you," and that's all that matters. This kind of connection is rooted in presence, in the simple act of being together and offering emotional support without needing to articulate every feeling. Interestingly, shared silence can also foster emotional clarity. Sometimes when there are no distractions, we can tune into our own thoughts and feelings more clearly. This space allows both individuals to reflect, process emotions, and come to conclusions without feeling rushed. It's a safe space to just exist together, unburdened by the need for constant communication. However, the power of shared silence lies in its ability to deepen the bond without words. It's a testament to the strength of your connection that you can sit in silence and still feel emotionally fulfilled. This kind of bond is rare and valuable, reminding us that sometimes the most meaningful moments are those that don't require speaking at all. Emotional honesty is the cornerstone of a relationship that thrives on authenticity and trust. When we are emotionally honest, we allow ourselves to express our true feelings, no matter how vulnerable or uncomfortable that may be. This honesty transforms relationships, deepening the emotional connection and creating a sense of safety where both people feel free to be themselves. It's the willingness to expose your heart fully without fear of judgment or rejection. What's incredible about emotional honesty is its ability to create mutual understanding. When one person opens up, the other often follows suit, and the relationship grows exponentially. Emotional honesty isn't just about sharing the easy parts of life. It's also about expressing the doubts, fears, and insecurities that we often hide. When both partners can be transparent with each other, the relationship becomes stronger as it is. Rooted in truth rather than pretense, being emotionally honest also means taking responsibility for your feelings. It's about owning your emotions rather than projecting them onto your partner. This fosters a sense of accountability and maturity in the relationship, where both people are empowered to communicate openly and work through their emotions together. When emotional honesty is practiced, misunderstandings are reduced, and the relationship becomes a safe space to express love, frustration, joy, and pain. However, emotional honesty requires a level of vulnerability that not everyone is ready for. It can be daunting to expose your true feelings, especially when there's a fear of rejection or being misunderstood. Yet it is this very honesty that creates the deepest connections, as it allows both people to see each other as they truly are, flaws and all. In this space of honesty, love and understanding flourish. In relationships, there's an art to holding on while also learning to let go. Holding on means nurturing and cherishing the bond, while letting go involves releasing the need to control, to change, or to hold on to the past. It's about accepting that relationships are ever evolving and that true love isn't about possessiveness, but about freedom. The art lies in balancing both, holding on to what matters while letting go of what no longer serves the relationship. Holding on means staying committed, offering support, and investing in the relationship's growth. It means actively choosing to be there for each other, even during difficult times. But letting go is equally important. It involves releasing expectations, understanding that each person has their own path and emotional journey. It's about finding peace in the fact that love, when nurtured, doesn't need to be grasped tightly to remain strong. What's transformative about this balance is how it fosters emotional freedom within the relationship. When both people can hold on to each other without suffocating the other's autonomy, the relationship becomes healthier and more balanced. Letting go of the need to control allows both individuals to grow individually and together, creating a space of mutual respect and understanding. Yet letting go doesn't mean detachment. It means releasing fear and insecurity. It means trusting that the bond will remain even without trying to force it. In this space, love flows more freely, and the relationship evolves organically, creating a partnership that's both strong and liberating. Emotional support isn't always about giving advice or solving problems. Often it's just about being present. It's about offering a shoulder to lean on when the world feels too heavy, or simply listening when someone needs to be heard. The depth of emotional support lies in the subtle art of making someone feel truly understood and accepted without the need for words. It's in the quiet gestures, the steady presence, the comforting touch that bonds are formed. These moments of support carry more weight than we often realize, creating deep emotional intimacy. It provides a sense of safety, a reminder that no matter what happens, someone cares. It's the foundation of trust and empathy, which are the pillars of any strong relationship. Even in the darkest times, knowing that someone has your back can be the spark of hope that keeps you going. Emotional support is the bedrock of resilience. It helps people bounce back from challenges and feel stronger in their vulnerability. Moreover, emotional support is reciprocal. When you offer your emotional presence to someone, they often feel a sense of gratitude and loyalty that strengthens the relationship. It creates a deeper connection because each person feels genuinely cared for and valued. This cycle of emotional exchange fosters trust, loyalty, and an unspoken understanding that you are both in this together. Support, given freely and with love, has a way of deepening the connection in ways that nothing else can. However, emotional support requires balance. It's important to give without depleting yourself and to recognize when you need support in return. Healthy emotional exchanges happen when both people feel heard, seen, and cared for. It's about creating a safe space for both individuals to express their feelings and challenges, knowing that the bond will only grow stronger through shared emotional vulnerability. Sometimes you don't need words or even actions to know that there's a magnetic connection between you and another person. It's a chemistry that goes beyond the physical, beyond the surface level, and into the realm of unspoken understanding. This kind of chemistry can create an almost instantaneous bond between two people, one that transcends logic or explanation. It's the kind that is felt in the core of your being, drawing you closer to someone in a way that feels both natural and inevitable. This unspoken chemistry often manifests itself in the smallest moments: a fleeting glance, a shared smile, a sense that you can communicate without speaking. It's a deep, intuitive knowing that there's something more between you and the other person, something that goes beyond the external and taps into the emotional and spiritual. What's fascinating about this chemistry is that it often feels like it's always been there, as though two souls have recognized each other after a long separation. What makes this kind of connection so powerful is its depth. It doesn't rely on external validation or confirmation. The connection is simply felt, understood, and acknowledged. It's the kind of bond that doesn't need to be explained because the people involved already know it's real. This chemistry goes beyond the obvious and delves into the heart and soul, creating a foundation that doesn't need to be built. It simply exists. However, the intensity of this magnetic pull can also be overwhelming. When chemistry feels so powerful, it can lead to emotional turbulence, especially if one or both people aren't ready to navigate it. While it's easy to get swept up in the connection, it's important to take the time to understand the emotions at play and ensure that the bond is healthy and grounded. The strength of this pull should be honored, but also approached with care and awareness. Words have incredible power. Sometimes it's the simplest phrases that leave the deepest impressions. A kind word, a thoughtful compliment, or a simple "I'm here for you" can resonate far more than we realize. These words may seem small or insignificant in the moment, but their emotional weight can create lasting memories and connections. It's in these moments of verbal kindness and care that we show others that they matter, that they're not alone, and that they're seen for who they truly are. What's striking about the power of words is that they often come when we need them most. A well-timed message or a comforting phrase can shift someone's entire perspective, turning a bad day into a bearable one. It's these small acts of communication that can make all the difference, offering emotional nourishment and comfort when it's needed most. Words have the ability to heal, to encourage, and to inspire in ways that few other actions can. In relationships, the words we choose to speak shape the emotional landscape of our connections. Simple, sincere expressions of love, appreciation, and gratitude can build bridges between people, while thoughtless or harsh words can create walls. The intention behind the words we use, whether we are speaking from the heart or simply passing time, can have a lasting effect on the emotional bond we share with others. Language has the power to create, strengthen, and sometimes even fracture relationships, making it an essential tool in any emotional exchange. However, not all words are created equal. While positive words can uplift and inspire, harsh or insensitive words can damage even the strongest connections.